Who doesn't love a warm slice of good old-fashioned apple pie? Well, today I'm going to show you how to make one entirely from scratch. And if you think it's hard to do, believe me guys, it's not. This vintage recipe turns out perfect in every way, from the sweet apple cinnamony filling to that melt in your mouth flaky buttery crust. To make our apple pie, let's start with the crust. So here I have 300 grams of flour. If you don't have a scale, that's 2.5 cups. Here I have a teaspoon of salt, and I'm just gonna stir that together to get it nice and mixed. Right here I have half a cup of butter and half a cup of lard. So I'm just gonna add that right into the flour, and these have both been chilled so they're pretty firm. Here I have a pastry blender, and I'm gonna use that to cut the butter and lard into the flour. So if you don't have one of these things, you can also do this with 2 knives. You can even use your fingers, but you want to do it quickly because you don't want the butter and lard to turn warm. So once the mixture looks something like this, there should be some big chunks and some little chunks. Now you want to bind it together with half a cup of ice water and a tablespoon of vinegar. The vinegar is going to make the crust nice and flaky. And by the way, if you're looking for a printable recipe for this, as always, I've linked it in the description below the video. Now, depending on how you measured your flour, you might need a little bit more or less water, but if you weighed 300 grams, you will need the exact amount, the half a cup with a tablespoon of vinegar. So once your mixture comes together like this, now it's time to wrap it in plastic and chill it in the fridge for a little bit. So get yourself a nice big piece of plastic and just dump the mixture right onto it. Don't worry if there's a little bit of dryness here and there. That's all going to soak into the dough as it chills. So a really easy way to do this is to just grab the corners of the plastic and kind of squeeze it together like this. Now just press it into a nice tight disc and your pie dough is ready for the fridge. Now you want to chill this for at least an hour, but the more the merrier. So while that dough hydrates and gets firm in the fridge, let's make the apple filling. So here I have a bunch of Honeycrisp apples. There's a lot of debate as to what the best apple is to use for pie. I say just use whatever you feel like. Of course, you have to peel them, so you can use a peeler, but I find a paring knife a lot easier and faster. So once you've peeled your apples, you want to take the cores out. So the best way to do this is to cut them in quarters. So first go in half, and then cut each half into a quarter, and you want to take your paring knife and make a V cut. This is the easiest way I can think of to core your apples, but maybe you might have a fancy gadget that will do this for you, and any bits of skin that are left on your piece of apple, just trim it off. Now you have to slice your apples, so there's no right or wrong here. If you like big slices of apples, go for it. I like my apples to be about 1/4 of an inch thick, like this, but once all your apples are sliced, now you can add 1 lemon's worth of juice. That's about 2 tablespoons. I like to use 1 cup of sugar, but if you want 3/4 of a cup, that will be good too. Here I have 1/4 cup of flour and a pinch of salt. Here I have 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, and if you want to add any other spices at all, like nutmeg or cloves, feel free to do so. Just go easy on them because they tend to be really strong. Like no more than 1/4 teaspoon. And that's all there is to making the filling. So hopefully by now your dough is nice and chilled. Now we're ready to roll out the crust. So go ahead and divide it in half. And the other half of dough you're going to want to keep wrapped and chilling in the fridge as you work because it's so important for pie dough to stay cold. So now just mold this into a round shape like this and sprinkle a little flour both on the board and on the dough itself to prevent sticking, because I can guarantee you it will. Every now and then, sprinkle a little more flour here and there, because sticking is just normal when you're rolling pie dough. Ultimately, you want to roll it to 1/8 of an inch thickness, and every now and then take your 9-inch pie plate and just test it to make sure your dough is at least 1 inch bigger than the plate. Now carefully roll the dough onto your rolling pin like this, and just ease it into the plate. You might have to realign it, and that's okay. And if you get a little tear here and there, just pinch it back together. Pie dough is actually very forgiving. Now we're ready to pour in our beautiful apple filling. Don't be alarmed by how much liquid you see. The flour is going to thicken that beautifully. And now you want to dot this with 2 tablespoons of butter. And that's just an old-fashioned term for pinching off little pieces of butter and scattering them here and there. You gotta love old-fashioned cooking and its fancy terminology. So now we're ready to roll the top crust, and you do that exactly the same way you rolled the bottom crust. So 1/8 of an inch thick, carefully roll it onto your rolling pin like this, but before you place it on top, I always like to wet the edge of the crust with a little water. That acts as sort of a glue that can help seal it a little better. And now you just carefully roll your top crust over like this. And because you've already done this with the bottom crust, you're gonna handle this part like a pro. Now press the edges together to seal them really well, and take a pair of scissors and just trim off a little bit of that excess pastry, not too much. Leave a little bit on there because you'll see why in a second. And don't even think about throwing away these trimmings. Use them to make other treats, or you can roll them out and cut out little shapes to decorate the top of your pie. Now you'll want to take the edge of your crust and tuck it under all the way around the pie. This not only helps seal it further, but it also helps create a really nice, neat crust. And once you've done this, you can create any decorative effect you want for your crust. So you can press it all around with the tines of a fork. I usually just kind of twist all the way around to create a nice fluted crust. But you do whatever you want, because this apple pie is going to be your masterpiece. Now, one optional step I like to throw in, I like to chill this for 15 or 20 minutes in the fridge, or even in the freezer. If you don't have time for this step, don't worry about it, but pie dough really does bake up better when it's freezing cold. Now, for a nice brown crust, I like to brush it all over with a little milk or cream if you have it. Some people like to use egg wash, but the milk works really well also. And for a little added crunch and sweetness, I like to sprinkle my pies with a little turbinado sugar, but this is totally optional. But one thing you definitely want to do is to create a couple of slashes or holes in the top of your pie. That's going to act as steam vents, so while it bakes, it doesn't balloon up and maybe even explode. Now we're ready to bake this in our preheated 425 oven for 20 minutes, then reduce your oven to 375 and bake another 40 to 45 minutes. You're looking for a nice golden brown crust, but more importantly, the apple should be bubbling inside. But some really wise words I want to share with you before you bake this. Just to be safe, you might want to place a parchment-lined baking sheet or even a pan of water on the bottom rack. Sometimes your pie is bound to leak no matter how much you try to prevent it, and this is just going to save you a big mess. But at the end of the day, your apple pie adventure is going to be totally worth it. You have to wait at least 3 hours before you cut into it, but for the cleanest slices, I would refrigerate it overnight. You can always heat it up the next day. You're gonna be so happy with this vintage recipe. You're gonna love how perfectly buttery and flaky that crust turns out, and the balance of that apple filling is spot on. I really hope you'll give this one a try, or maybe you'd rather make this strawberry rhubarb pie.